And welcome back to the Kenny and JT show here on News Talk 1480 WHBC, giving you a look at the 2026 Cleveland Guardians spring training preview. And boy, you talk about making a debut in the major leagues. Not many guys have made their major league debut for their team in the playoffs, but that's exactly what happened last year with our guest, Chase DeLauter, outfielder for the Guardians, spending some time with us today from spring training. Chase, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? Appreciate you having me. Doing great. Enjoying some of the warm weather out here in AZ. That's about it. Getting ready to roll.
Yeah, you're enjoying 81 degrees today as we tape this. It's snowing back in Ohio, so you win on that, Chase. And I mentioned your debut last year. We've been hearing about you for years, right? Unfortunately, the injuries have kept you from making your debut until last year in the postseason. What did that mean to you to finally get that chance to play Major League Baseball, and how did you approach it going into the postseason for your Major League Baseball debut?
Oh yeah, I mean it was great. Dream come true moment. Definitely a different situation. I was actually here in Goodyear in rehab with the hamate on the Friday before the series had started. I ended up come Monday. I was in Cleveland practicing with the team, and it was a whole process up to that. But man, it was great. It was a lot real fast. Between being from here, flying back, some live at bats, going up, a couple different conversations. It was a lot. It was definitely a dream come true moment, and I'm extremely grateful. However it happened, whatever sort of way, just to be out there with the guys and be competing at that level. But yeah, it was definitely something that didn't really settle in until I was on the way back home after it was all said and done, and really got to soak it all in.
All right, I got to bring my radio partner in now because he's got a great story that involves Chase DeLauter's family. So let's bring JT in right now. And JT, share with Chase what you experienced last year during his Major League debut.
Share or chasing? I've been chasing Chase DeLauter for as long as I can remember. I'm coming to the game. We're walking in. We're getting ready to cover the Detroit game. And I see all these people walking ahead of me. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't recognize this number at all. And it was your jersey number. I think half the state of West Virginia was there. And I met your mother. And I was like, man, we're coming in. And people don't know who she is. And I knew you were starting that day. I'm like, hey, you're Chase DeLauter's mom. What's he going to do today? She's like, home run. It was hysterical.
That's great.
It went viral in like 20 minutes. And it was
awesome.
outstanding. It was such an exciting time. Get your first base hit. Not in a regular season game, postseason game.
Oh yeah.
What goes through your mind?
Dude, that was a surreal moment. I mean, after the first game, kind of had a lot of drama early, and then some good at bats late, and we ended up coming away with a win. It was great. So by the second day, I was feet were wet. I was pretty comfortable rolling out there, looking to get a good pitch to hit early, and that's what I got. So it was a very exciting day. Very exciting.
How cool was it to have everybody there for it? It was a home game, so it made it a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I was able to get them all up there. I think Monday night, where I'm from is only about a 4.5 hour drive. So really not bad at all. Not great, spur of the moment, but not too bad for them. They loved it. They don't get to go into cities very often. So they enjoyed every minute of it. And the Guardians took care of them. So.
Like, who is this jackass and what is he doing? I mean, I just thought it was hysterical, though.
I'm sure they loved it. It was great.
And for you, I think it became a big hit as well. The walk-up song, it had to be, right?
Yeah. It was something I actually never used it before. I used it in AAA this season. First time I've ever used it, and got pretty solid reaction from the crowd. I feel like Ohio, West Virginia, fairly similar, in terms of some things. So I thought it would get a solid hit, and then it did. In Columbus, I was like, yeah, if I get the chance, I'm going to for sure use it up there. And it played out pretty well.
Your jersey, did you change jersey numbers this year? I thought I saw.
Yeah, I did. From 34 to 24.
Okay.
Yeah. Childhood
Why
number.
24? What's 24 mean to you?
That was the first big number I ever kept for a long time when I was a kid, through Little League, All-Stars, all through the travel ball, so all the way up till high school, I was 24. So having the chance to go back to it, I was like, I'll go ahead and snag that one.
All right, no pressure. Manny Ramirez wore that number, right?
I did. I've had a few people come up to me about that one. Yeah, big one to live up to.
All right, so what was the offseason like for Chase DeLauter? You get your major league debut out of the way in the playoffs. You have the whole offseason to think about that, but also prepare for what we think will be an opening day start for Chase DeLauter. So what'd you do this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much went back home right after the playoffs. Was slated to play in the fall league again, so kind of playing in the playoffs had kind of shaken all that up. So I was able to not do that. Had gone home instead and enjoyed some time with the family, a couple weeks, just settled everything down, kind of really took it all in. Came back out to Arizona. Huge emphasis on just kind of cutting down some weight. Making sure my legs can be supported for on a day-to-day basis and really get that honed in. So I was here focusing on that. Went back home at Thanksgiving. Enjoyed the time on the East Coast with the family. Kind of bounced between West Virginia and Cleveland. Did a couple camps up there, but for the majority of the time I was back home in West Virginia, enjoying the cold. So
Yeah, right.
it was great. It was great though. Just really focusing on my body and making sure I can show up here as healthy as possible and in good shape and ready to go.
Is this the first spring you've been totally healthy for a change?
Honestly, yeah. Like I don't think I've ever been able to come in and not had just come off something or not be still kind of working through something or something show up. So
Right.
it was the first one I was able to really focus on some of that this off season and going in, which was nice.
Chase, how have you handled the mental toughness through all of this? It's got to be frustrating as hell. We've heard nothing but great things about you. Chris Antonetti this year saying, they expect big things from you. And how were you able to get through that mentally to get to this point where now that's behind you and you just look forward?
Yeah, it's a lot. Just like you're saying, I mean, man, being in Arizona in the summertime, 120 degrees, and you're just watching everybody else play every day. It's not ideal, not great. I will say, we have some of the best staff in the world here to support that, to make sure I have what I need on a day-to-day basis, to make sure I'm mentally in the spot I need to be. And then just being extremely grateful when I get the chance to go back out. There's some other injuries that, take some big time tolls on people. You think from the pitching side, if something happens there, it's generally a little bit longer to deal with. So just being grateful for each opportunity I've had. And, I think I've at this point been able to use them from a learning standpoint. Some have been just freak accidents. Some have probably been me not being completely honed in on myself. And, it shows at this level, it gets exposed on a day-to-day basis with travel and food and all that and getting older. So I think it's a good learning curve. Hopefully I've put it all in the past and can roll forward and, learn to support my body the way it needs to be.
Last thing, and we'll let you go. Chase DeLauter, our guest here on the Kenny and JT show. First game out of the way, first hit out of the way, but those are in the postseason. First opening day start, what would that mean? First home run still out there at the major league level. So what would those mean?
It's going to be just the rest of the pieces. At this point, that was my debut. That was everything. I had already experienced the big, you get called up, you go out, you run out on the field for the first time. So in my mind, that's all happened, and I finished the season. So this is just the start of a new season. I may be on a different field, I may not be, and that's really all it is to me. It's going, plan to win is going to be the exciting part. Playing some real meaningful baseball, some games that matter. Every decision that's made in these games could mean something, especially with us coming down to the wire at the end of last season. Winning, taking the division at the very end. So I'm excited to experience some of that and play with some of the guys that have shown that the last couple of years.
Chase, we appreciate the time. Best of luck. Stay healthy. JT's looking forward to seeing your family at the ballpark again, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the lineup on an everyday basis.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
There he is, Chase DeLauter, spending a few minutes with us here on the Kenny and JT show on News Talk 1480 WHBC. We'll get a break in right now. Come back with more right after this.